Hello, today's Friday, April 3rd, and I'm Chief L.J. Fusaro reporting from the Groton Emergency Operations Center. We just completed our weekly Unified Command meeting where I explained last week where we have several individuals from town departments and outside agencies that discuss some of the things that are impacting us most here in Groton. As we all know, the situation continues to evolve with regards to COVID-19. We have had impact here in Groton. We have some of our community members that are recovering from this awful disease, but fortunately we see them continue and make progress. I also want to share with you that we as first responders are alerted to the fact when someone is responding to a location if there may be a potential case so we can lessen that spread. We don't have a lot of information. I know I mentioned that last week as we had some interest in our Facebook page of getting some additional info. Unfortunately, that isn't information that we have that we can share, but you need to know that our first responders, police, fire, and EMS are alerted by our dispatchers when they do go to one of those locations so that they can use proper protective measures to keep themselves and others safe. I also want to highlight what you've seen in national news outlets as well as state news outlets is that we continue to do that 30 days to stop the spread. So through the end of April, we're going to continue to encourage people to do social distancing, stay out of large groups. You're also aware of some recent executive orders that have been put out from the governor. I would encourage you to check the governor's page, website page, Facebook page to read about those and find out what they really mean. But we are discouraging groups of more than 5 people. So we're trying to isolate individuals so that they don't get exposed to this. We're trying to keep them out of harm's way so that we can start flattening that curve as we've been asked to do by both our state and federal leaders. As far as Groton itself goes, we have limited some access to certain locations. Some of the playscapes around town have been closed because those bring children and parents close together, so those areas are closed, as well as basketball courts. But by and large, all of the town and parks that are managed by the state of Connecticut here in Groton remain open. That could change. We're seeing daily changes as far as what we're asked to do by our state leaders. Our officers are monitoring those locations to discourage large gatherings. So our officers are trying to make sure that people know, hey, this is unsafe. We want to protect you. We want to protect everyone else. We also realize that there are people out in society as a whole that are asymptomatic, meaning they don't display evidence of having COVID-19, but in fact, they may be spreading it to other people. So that's why that 6-foot distance is extremely important. While we don't want large gatherings, we want people to understand that we're doing this for everyone's best interest, to protect you and protect everyone else. Some of the other locations that are open are the parks. I'm told by our Parks and Recs folks that Shenecasset is open, but they've also implemented measures to make sure that they're keeping people at distances that are acceptable so that they can stop the spread and make sure that the people that do enjoy playing golf and doing other activities are kept safe. All town agencies continue to function. As I indicated, we had a unified command meeting, so all of the key stakeholders in the town of Groton were on that and gave updates as to what they're doing to impact this and to continue their operations, and I'm happy to report all of those agencies currently are doing well and are continuing with their operations, although again, there is some limitations. For instance, Town Hall, if you need to get in there, please phone ahead to the agency that you want to speak with so that they can make arrangements to meet you as the doors are kept locked, but there are still operations continuing. Some other things that have come up recently that are extremely important for you to help us out with, and that's littering. We've gotten reports throughout the town of some medical waste, hand gloves, hand sanitizer, empty bottles, masks, things of that nature where people have disposed of them. Please, if you utilize those things to protect yourself, bag them, double bag them, and throw them out in a proper receptacle. Don't leave them lying around. Unfortunately, someone else has to go pick them up. Some of our Public Works folks and Parks and Recs folks that are still on the job don't want to have to do that. They don't want to expose themselves to it, so we're asking you for your assistance. If you see someone doing that, please alert them. Hey, pick that up, dispose of it properly, because we are all in this together. I also want to remind you of some things that are out there from other organizations that may be helpful. People are staying home a lot now. They're getting to know their family again. We live in such a society up until recently where people are mobile. My kids are away at college. They've come home. So sometimes that builds strain and stress inside a family. There are mechanisms that are available to people to go and have some healthy dialogue with their friends. Please check those resources online. But we also have some partner agencies here in southeastern Connecticut like Safe Futures. Safe Futures is an organization that helps people that have been involved and survived domestic violence incidents. They're out there. If you need their services, please look them up, contact them. They're happy to help. We also have Ledgelight Health District. Weekly, I like to encourage you to go to their website because it gives you good information that's really specific to our part of the state. You can also research Centers for Disease Control and the Connecticut Department of Health. And as I mentioned earlier, Governor Lamont's website. On that website, you'll see the 21 executive orders that have been issued up until yesterday that have a direct impact on how we're managing operations in the state of Connecticut and how we're trying to do all that we can to stop the spread of COVID-19. I also want you to be aware that we have a program here in Groton for cognitive safety and awareness. Folks in the police department as well as Parks and Rec have done a great job on that. Please look that up if you have individuals in your family that may have some cognitive disabilities and that could be of assistance to them. I also want to remind everyone that we really need to pay attention to public assemblies, and that's particularly difficult this time of the year. Not only are we experiencing spring where people want to get out, but we're also next week going to experience some religious holidays. And many of us are used to assembling with family and getting together with people in whatever particular congregation or church that we belong to, and that has really been curtailed. I would encourage you to continue to practice that social distancing. Don't be in those large assemblies. Fortunately, many of our faith-based communities have opened up some Facebook accounts or some online access to their services. Please take advantage of that. I know it kind of is not what we're used to during this time of the year, but it's for everyone's safety, and I think that your pastors, ministers, and those people in those faith-based organizations will encourage you to do that as well. Again, check the website for Governor Lamont so you can update yourself on what's going on with the latest executive orders. I also want to report to you that in London County, you can see this on the state website, we've had 29 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Again, I said it before, we've had some in the town of Groton, and we're trying to pass that information along to people here through our Facebook account. And finally, I just want to thank you for those of you who are doing so much to comply with these orders that have come out from the governor's office, working with our officers. We're really pleased to see what we're seeing out there as far as the best attitudes of people. It is a stressful time for all of us. We're trying to do our jobs. We're trying to make sure that we provide a safe environment for our citizens in our community, and we ask you to do the same. So we really want to express thank you to those of you who've been so supportive. We've also benefited from some organizations and individuals coming in here and showing support for our officers. I know that the fire service and EMS and certainly our healthcare workers have seen that in abundance recently. We want to thank you for recognizing us and for being such good citizens and such good partners as we get through this next 30 days. So with that, thank you for your cooperation. I appreciate being able to give you this update, and hopefully it's helpful. Be safe, wash your hands, and maintain that social distancing. Thank you.